Me and my girlfriend are both 20 years old, and we've been dating on and off for 3 years, which was mostly my fault because I had an immature mentality. But this time, we'd been dating for 9 months, and I really thought it would be different because we'd both done a lot of growing up. We've been best friends for the better part of 6 years, and she was the one person I always wanted to be around. I could never be upset for long when I was with her. We were starting to plan our future together, buying a house in the next year or so, and eventually having 2 kids and lots of dogs. I can't speak for her, but I was really looking forward to spending the rest of my life with her. Due to the line of work I'm in, I spend 3 weeks away from home at a time, and then I have 1.5 weeks at home. The schedule sucks, but it's good money. The last time I came home, she was waiting for me with a positive pregnancy test and an ultrasound of a baby. I was in complete shock. Then I was scared. I didn't know the first thing about being a father, but after processing things for a while, I got excited at the thought of having a little me running around. She told me she was already 3 months along, and that a lot of her family knew before me, which upset me. How can you tell your family before the alleged father of the child? She wanted to wait even longer before I told my family, which I shut down very quickly. Anyway, she told me that we had to do a DNA test for insurance and to prove who the father was so they'd cover all the doctor appointments. Later on, I found out this wasn't a thing. Without hesitation, I paid the $1,300 to get a test because there was no doubt in my mind that I was the father. We spent the next week moving her out of her apartment and back in with her parents so she could work on saving money for the baby. I did 90% of the work myself, except for the heavy furniture that I paid the movers to do. Everything was about as normal as could be, considering the big news. It came time for me to go back to work for 3 weeks, and all was well for the first 4 days. However, my world came crashing down when I woke up to the DNA test results, revealing that I wasn't the father of the child. She got the same email at the same time, so I tried calling her, but she didn't answer. I waited 3 hours to speak to her, and it took everything in me not to scream, yell, and call her every name in the book. When I asked, "What the hell?" her excuse was, back in April we'd been arguing while I was away at work. She got drunk one night and some guy messaged her. It went downhill from there. I never knew about any of this until now. Obviously, we broke up because I'm not raising another man's child after she cheated and lied. She looked me in my eye and told me she loved me for 3 months as if nothing happened. She threw away our future and everything we had been through because she got drunk. I'll be the first one to admit that I'm not perfect. Yes, we had our fair share of arguments, but none of them were bad enough that I even came close to thinking about cheating on her. I was really looking forward to being a father, and eventually her being my wife, like we had always talked about.
That's one painful story from OP. And while I don't normally do this, I will pay his partner some respect. Even though she did him dirty, she could have easily gone along with OP, never revealing the fact that she cheated, acting like the baby was guaranteed to be his. If she didn't ask for the test, there's no doubt in my mind that OP would have raised that child, never knowing the truth. As a man, this is one of my greatest fears, and I'm sure many others would agree. The scary thing about OP's story is that he never suspected his partner of cheating, so it never would have occurred to him to ask for a test. I'm more pessimistic than most when it comes to this sort of thing because of what I've seen in my own life. It's not all the time that someone catches on to the fact that their partner's cheating on them, and I'd argue that a lot of the time, most people don't even get a hint that their partner went behind their back, especially if the affair or fling was short-lived. A lot of people say that paternity tests are only needed if you don't trust or already suspect your partner of cheating. But the reality is, it's not always easy to tell. I strongly believe that most cheaters get away with it, and the people who get cheated on have no clue about what's going on. Anyway, let's move on to the comments.
Pimp in the Box says, "You paid $1,300 to dodge a bullet? Consider yourself a lucky man. Something similar happened to me decades ago, but not including a kid. You're 20 years old with your entire life ahead of you, so move on and find someone better." If I were in your shoes says, leave her on red if she ever tries to text you. Don't answer or return calls. If it were me, I would file in small claims court requesting reimbursement for the paternity test and any additional money you spent during that time for her support.
Most of the comments are angry at OP's partner, and while I don't condone what she did, at least she didn't trick OP into raising a baby that wasn't his. Not everybody in her situation would have made the same call.
I'm 30 years old and I've been married to my husband, Jake, for 3 years. He's 36. We dated a year before eloping, and we don't have any kids yet. I moved 5 hours away from my friends and family to be closer to my husband since he shares custody of his son with his ex-wife. My husband started a new job a year ago, and in the last couple of months I noticed that he would delete text messages from a female coworker. We'll call her Roxy. I met Roxy at a company soccer game, and she's around my age. She's also single, very pretty, and also a manager, just like my husband. I was able to find some of the deleted text messages from April, and he sent her the kiss emojis after she got mad about something regarding work. She then sent him one back, along with a middle finger emoji. I let it go and just figured they were innocently flirting. This past month, we both took a week off work to go back to my hometown. I wanted to visit my parents and celebrate with my friends for my 30th birthday. 2 days before we left, I found text messages from Roxy, and it seems like my husband went to her house while I was at work. The text messages between the two of them were as follows. Jake said, "I'm at work so I can take some days off." Roxy replied saying, "Okay, see you never." Jake followed up with, "I wanted to see you now." Roxy said, "Okay, then come over." An hour later, he texted her saying that he was downstairs and needed her code to enter. She said that she changed the code and gave him a new one to use. She didn't give him her address, so clearly he'd been there before. When he left a few hours later, she messaged him, and that went a little something like this. Roxy said, "Did you get home okay?" In response, Jake replied, "Yeah, almost there. See you soonish," followed by a kiss emoji. And then Roxy said, "Yeah, 8 days, I'm counting down the seconds," ending the conversation with her own kiss emoji. Did he want to see her because he was going to miss her since he wasn't going to be at work for a week? During our trip, everything was normal. I thought we had a good time, and I had a good birthday. After we got home, I found out that he went back to her house 3 days after my birthday, and he was there for an hour before picking up his son. He was actually late picking up his son from his ex-wife's house because he was with Roxy. Am I in denial about him having an affair? He was never like this when we first met, and I always trusted him. I can't believe what I'm reading on his phone. I don't know what I should do next. Any advice is appreciated.
The answer to this is simple. He's cheating. OP is experiencing some major denial here. Nobody misses their coworker that much that they will visit them before going on holiday. That is not a normal thing to do. It sucks for OP, but she really should be thinking about her next move. Since they don't have any kids together yet, that's one mess that won't need to be cleaned up. Let's see what the conversation is in the comments.
Taiwan Bandit says, when he left a couple hours later, she texted him, "Did you get home okay?" And he texted her back saying, "Yeah, almost there. See you soon-ish." He was at her house for a couple of hours when they should have been working. I think you really should consider hiring a private investigator to get the proof you need that he's cheating. Sorry, OP, but you're on an infidelity sub. Yes, I believe he's cheating. You should have your own bank accounts that he doesn't have access to, and you might want to research some divorce lawyers in your area for professional advice. Lilia says, you're in a state of denial, but damn, please learn to accept the ugly reality. He's cheating on you. I'm afraid you already lost the man you loved and married years ago. You have to collect your thoughts and start the process. This will hurt you more and more each time you deny it. You're still young, so I hope you find the happiness you truly deserve. Good luck, OP.
Yeah, there's nothing more to add here because the signs of cheating are clear as day. I wish OP the best for the future. I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Coffee and Popcorn, and I can't wait to see you on the next one.